Hi, welcome to Feminism F.A.Q.s. I'm Jarrah Hodge. Today, isn't the gender wage gap just a myth? This is a common criticism lobbed at feminists who argue that women have not yet achieved full equality. The critics tend to say that either the wage gap doesn't exist, or that where it does, it's caused entirely by women's choices, not discrimination. On the first point, the evidence is clear. The gender wage gap does exist. In Canada, women working full-time, year-round, make 72 cents for every dollar a man makes. American women aren't far off, at around 77 cents a dollar, and the gaps are even bigger for women of color. That makes the median pay gap about $10,000 a year. That's $400,000 over the course of a lifetime. But what about the second point? Aren't women just making choices that result in them making less, like taking more time off to care for kids, or avoiding more dangerous jobs that might provide a risk premium? It's true we live in a society where in nuclear families, women are generally the ones expected to make career sacrifices to take care of kids and aging relatives. Women who take time off in this way may experience what's called a motherhood penalty in terms of lifetime wage loss. But we don't see the same thing for men who take time off. There's no similar fatherhood penalty. So what kind of choice is this really? And even this can't account for the entire pay gap. For one, not all industrialized countries share the gap. The Conference Board of Canada gives us a C grade for wage equality, with our 28% gap. By contrast, Denmark's gap is only 9%. Second, the wage gap narrows but doesn't close even when accounting for full versus part-time work, educational level, and the sectors in which people are employed. The U.S. Census Bureau recently found that men were paid higher in 19 out of 20 traditionally male occupations and 19 out of 20 traditionally female occupations. As for risk premiums, the U.S. Department of Labor found this can't account for the gap either. In fact, jobs involving knowledge are the most rewarded in the marketplace today, yet women with the same educational attainment are still making less. Now, I'm sure most of the wage gap isn't due to conscious discrimination. Some of the wage gap is due to the fact that some women aren't socialized to negotiate better working conditions or salary increases for themselves on their own. And some women in precarious employment might not feel they can risk trying to negotiate. To sum up, the gender wage gap is a big issue that needs to be tackled from many angles, but saying it doesn't exist or claiming that it's all due to women's choices and that makes it okay isn't acceptable or true.